What's up, gamers? Red Dragon here, and we are covering the news. So the other day, Eurogamer was doing an article talking about could the consoles actually have an option in them that allows you to choose whether or not you want a higher resolution or higher frame rates, because sometimes you have to make that choice. Well, buried within the article was some information about Killzone Shadowfall that released on the PlayStation 4. Of course, Sony and Guerrilla Games been playing this game up as 1080p. You remember back before the reveal or the release and all that, tweets were going out, talking about 1080p and how Sony games were 1080p, 60 frames per second. Well, Eurogamer decided to put out there that Killzone Shadowfall is not true 1080p when it comes to the multiplayer. Now, the single player game is, but when it comes to the multiplayer game actually is at a resolution closer to 720 than it is to 1080. Now, does this change the game whatsoever? Absolutely not. It doesn't change one thing about it. And in fact, if it wasn't for Eurogamer burying this kind of in another article, people wouldn't have even paid attention to it. They wouldn't have even known about it. So I think that goes back to the point of this thing has been blown way out of proportion. People can't tell by looking at it. You have to have somebody tell you what the resolution is, or you have to ask somebody what the resolution is in order to even know it. Now, it doesn't change the game, but of course, I think it does look bad on Sony's part. It looks bad on Sony and Guerrilla Games. They've been advertising this simply as 1080p and just making everybody think that it's native 1080p. Instead, they could have just come out and said, look, we had to lower the resolution a little bit to make sure the gameplay was as smooth as possible. And I think people would have been completely fine with that, That's what Microsoft has been doing. They've been pretty upfront, but they've said this is to make sure that the gameplay is as smooth as possible and that you're not having, dropped frames. But as far as this whole resolution gate goes, I think it's been blown way out of proportion. And I just say, give me good games. Of course, I do feel that the next generation consoles should be reaching 1080p 60 frames per second, and I've said it before in the past. I think in a few months, I think we will see that as they work out the kinks and everybody becomes more familiar with the tools. We will see. Links down below if you want to read more about it. Subscribe if you're new, and drop a like on your way out. That does it for me, the Red Dragon. I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.